Have you been overwhelmed, as if the world was falling around you and you didn't know where to start? Imagine wake up every day with an endless list of tasks, worries that do not disappear, and the feeling that no matter how hard you try, something is always out of your control. Look familiar? You are not alone. Many of us face these challenges daily, and that's exactly why I'm here today. We live in a world that requires more and more of us. Pressures at work, challenging relationships, uncertainties about the future, and the constant feeling that we need to do more, be more, and have more. All of this can lead us to a state of chronic stress, anxiety, and in many cases, the loss of our inner strength. When we feel like this, it is common to question, how can I deal with all this? How can I recover control of my life? What if I tell you that there is an ancient philosophy, tested and approved by great leaders and thinkers throughout history, who can help you face these challenges more serenity and clarity? This philosophy is Stoicism. Today, I will present you 10 Stoic lessons that will help you regain your inner strength, strengthen your mind, and face any adversity with confidence. These lessons are not just theoretical concepts. These are practical tools that you can start applying today. Ready to transform your life? Let's go. Before we dive into lessons, it is important to understand what Stoicism is. In a nutshell, Stoicism is a philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control and accept what is beyond our control. It is not about suppressing emotions or ignoring problems, but of developing a mindset that allows us to face challenges with balance and clarity. Imagine Stoicism as a lighthouse in the midst of a storm. It does not calm the sea, but guides us so that we can sail safely. This philosophy was born in ancient Greece, but was popularized by Roman thinkers such as Marco Aurelio, Seneca, and Epictetus. Marco Aurelio, for example, was an emperor who ruled one of the greatest empires in history. Even with all responsibilities and pressures, he used Stoicism to maintain serenity and make wise decisions. Seneca, in turn, was a philosopher and counselor who faced exile and betrayal, but always maintained his integrity and inner peace. And Epictetus, who began as a slave, used Stoicism to free herself and become one of the greatest masters of philosophy. If these historical figures have managed to apply Stoicism in extreme situations, imagine what it can do for you in your daily life. Stoicism is not just a philosophy of the past. He is incredibly relevant today. In a world full of uncertainty, pressures, and distractions, Stoic principles help us maintain focus, resilience, and mental clarity. And that is exactly what you will find out in the next 10 lessons. Each of them has been carefully selected to be practical, accessible, and above all, transformative. So if you are ready to strengthen your mind and recover your inner strength, let's go straight to what matters. Lesson 1. The dichotomy of the control. The first lesson of Stoicism is also one of the most powerful, the dichotomy of control. This concept teaches us that in life, there are things that are under our control and others that they are not. The secret to inner peace is to know how to differentiate between the two and to direct our energy just to what we can change. As an Epictetus said, some things are under our control, some not. Imagine that you are stuck in traffic. You cannot control congestion, traffic light, or driver in front of you. But you can control how it reacts to this situation. You can get angry and stressed, or you can use this time to hear a podcast, take a deep breath, and plan the day. The choice is yours. Next time you feel frustrated or anxious, ask yourself, is this under my control? If the answer is no, take a deep breath and focus on your reaction. Remember, you can't control the wind, but you can adjust the candles of your boat. Lesson 2. Practice daily gratitude. The second in Stoic lesson is about the practice of gratitude. Stoics believed that, regardless of circumstances, there is always something to be grateful. Gratitude does not deny difficulties, but it helps us see what we already have good, strengthening our mind and heart. As Marco Aurelio wrote in his Meditations, when you get up in the morning, think of the precious privilege of being alive, breathing, thinking, enjoying, loving. Imagine that you had a difficult day at work. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, try to list 3 things you are grateful for: a colleague who helped you, a tasty lunch, or even the fact that you have a job. This simple practice can completely change your perspective. Start your day or finish your night with a gratitude list. It can be something big, such as your family's health, or something small, like a warm coffee in the morning. The important thing is to create the habit of recognizing and valuing what is already present in your life. Lesson 3. Accept the impermanence of things. The good things, the bad, the people, the situations. Everything changes over time. Stoics called it impermanence. Accepting this truth helps us value the present and better deal with losses and changes. As Seneca said, everything that comes to exist is bound to perish. Imagine you lost a job you loved. At first it may seem like the end of the world, but over time you realize that this change has opened doors to new opportunities. Or think of a relationship that ended. Though painful, he may have taught you valuable lessons about love and personal growth. When you face a change or loss, take a deep breath and remember, this will also pass. Instead of resisting, try to see what this situation can teach you. Value what you have now, because the present is the only moment that really matters. Lesson 4. Use obstacles as opportunities. Stoics believed that every challenge is a chance to learn, grow, and strengthen. As Marco Aurelio wrote, the obstacle becomes the way. In other words, what seems like a problem may be what leads us to the next level. Imagine that you were fired from a job. At first, it may seem like a big setback, but this situation may be the opportunity you needed to explore a new career, undertake or even devote time to a personal project that was postponing. Another example, a difficult discussion in a relationship may be a chance to improve communication and strengthen ties. The next time you face an obstacle, ask yourself, what can I learn from it? How can I use this situation to grow? Instead of seeing problems as enemies, face them as masters who help you evolve. Lesson 5. Develop self-discipline. The 5th Stoic lesson is about self-discipline, the ability to control our desires and impulses to act according to our values and goals. Stoics believed that true freedom comes from self-control. As an Epictet said, no man is free if he is not a lord of himself. Self-discipline allows us to take the reins of our lives and avoid being taken by momentary emotions or distractions. Imagine that you are trying to create the habit of waking up early to exercise, but the temptation to push the nap button is great. Self-discipline is what makes you get up, even when the body asks for another 5 minutes. Another example, to resist procrastination at work. Even when social networks seem much more attractive. Start small. Choose an area of your life where you want to be more disciplined and create a simple habit. For example, if you want to read more, you commit to reading only 10 pages a day. Over time, self-discipline will become more natural and you will see the results in all areas of your life. Lesson 6. Keep mental clarity in times of crisis. The 6th Stoic lesson teaches us the importance of maintaining mental clarity, especially in times of crisis. Stoics believed that when we are under pressure, our minds can be cloudy by emotions, leading to impulsive decisions and regrets. As Seneca said, the restless mind does not see clearly. The key is to take a deep breath, calm down, and think before you act. Imagine that you are in the middle of a heated discussion at work or at home. Instead of reacting immediately with anger or frustration, take a deep breath and give yourself a few seconds to reflect. Ask yourself, what is the best way to answer? This pause can avoid unnecessary conflicts and help find a more effective solution. When you feel overwhelmed or in a crisis situation, practice the Stoic pause. Take a deep breath 3 times and count up to 10 before making any decision or respond. This will give your mind the space needed to find clarity and act wisely. Lesson 7. Cultivate virtue and integrity. The 7th Stoic lesson is about the importance of living with virtue and integrity. For Stoics, virtue was the greatest good, and that meant acting wisely, justice, courage, and moderation in all situations. As Marco Aurelio wrote, "What is not useful for the hive is not useful for the bee." In other words, our actions should reflect our values and contribute to the greater good. Imagine that you are in a situation at work where you can gain advantage acting dishonestly. Instead of giving in to temptation, you choose to act with integrity, even if it means a more difficult way. In the long run, this decision strengthens your reputation and your inner peace. Reflect on your main values and ask yourself, my actions are aligned with what I believe. Make decisions that honor your integrity, even when no one is looking. Virtue is the basis of a significant and authentic life. Lesson 8. Learn to say no. The 8th in Stoica. Lesson is about the importance of knowing how to say no. Stoics believed that in order to live a balanced life, we need to establish clear limits and prioritize what really matters. As Seneca said, if you want to own your time, you need to learn to say no. Saying no is not selfishness. It is a way to protect your energy and focus on what is essential. Imagine a co-worker asks you to take another task, but you are already overwhelmed. Instead of accepting for fear of disappointing, you answer kindly, "I would love to help, but at the moment I cannot take more responsibilities without compromising the quality of my work." This allows you to keep your focus and avoid unnecessary stress. Practice to say no respectfully and assertively. Start with small situations, such as refusing a social invitation when you need time for yourself. Over time, you will feel more confident to set limits in all areas of life. Lesson 9. Reserve. A time for daily reflection. The 9th in Stoica lesson is about the importance of self-reflection. Stoics believed that in order to live a virtuous life, we need to book a daily time to evaluate our actions, thoughts, and emotions. As Seneca said, examine the past day. What did I miss? What do you act well? What did I stop doing? Reflection helps us learn from our mistakes and celebrate our hits. Imagine that at the end of the day, you reserve 10 minutes to reflect on what happened. You might ask yourself, what did I do well today? What could have done better? How can I improve tomorrow? This simple practice can help you identify behavioral patterns and make more conscious decisions in the future. Choose a moment of the day, as before bed or soon after waking up, to make a brief reflection. Write down your observations in a diary, or just think about them. The important thing is to create the habit of looking inside and learning from your experiences. Lesson 10. Live in the present. Mindfulness Stoic. The 10th and last lesson of Stoicism is perhaps one of the most transformative. Living in the present. Stoics called this Stoic mindfulness, the practice of being fully present at every moment, without getting lost in worries about the future or regrets of the past. As Marco Aurelio wrote, confine yourself to the present, understand well what happens to you now, and accept it as it is. This lesson teaches us that the key to a quiet and significant life is to master the art of living here and now. Living in the present does not mean ignoring your responsibilities or future dreams, but cultivating a clear and intentional consciousness of the present moment. When we are constantly thinking about what it could have been or what it can come, we waste the wealth of the present, the only thing we really have control. Imagine that you are in an important meeting at work, but your mind is full of thoughts about what you still need to do at the end of the day, or about a mistake you made the week before. You are not fully present, and this affects your ability to contribute effectively. Now imagine if instead you would completely focus on what is being discussed, the ideas that are emerging, and the value you can offer at that very moment. The difference would be huge, right? Stoics practice this mental presence through simple exercises, such as observing breathing, paying attention to the details of the surrounding environment, or even enjoying a meal with full attention. They understood that the present is the only time when we can act, feel, and truly live. To apply this lesson in your daily life, try these practices. Breathe and note. Whenever you perceive your mind rambling for the future or past, stop for a few seconds, breathe deeply, and bring your attention back to the present moment. Ask yourself, what am I doing now? How can I focus on it? Practice the full attention in everyday activities. Choose a simple task, such as having breakfast or walking, and making it with total conscience. Observe the sounds, smells, textures, and flavors. This trains your mind to remain anchored in the present. 3. Avoid unnecessary multitasking. Instead of trying to do several things at the same time, focus on one activity at a time. This will increase your productivity and improve the quality of what you are doing. Recognize the flow of life. Remember that the present is a gift, literally. Each moment is a unique opportunity that will never be repeated again. Value this. When we begin to live in the present, we realize that many of our anguish and anxieties are created by our own mind, which insists on wandering out of now. By anchoring our attention at the present time, we find peace, clarity, and a deep feeling of gratitude for the life we are living. We have come to the end of these 10 Stoic lessons, but this is not the end of your journey. It's just the beginning. Stoicism is not a philosophy that you learn once and forget. It is a daily practice, a conscious choice to face life with resilience, wisdom, and balance. Each of these lessons, from controlled dichotomy to Stoic mindfulness, is designed to help you strengthen your mind, recover your inner strength, and navigate your adversity with confidence. Now, I want to invite you to take the next step. Start today. Choose one of these lessons and apply it to your routine. How about starting with daily gratitude or practicing the Stoic break in times of crisis? Small changes can generate major transformations over time. If you feel you need more guidance or want to dive deeper into Stoicism, I have something special for you. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive notifications about new content and daily reflections based on these lessons. This is an invitation to integrate Stoicism into your life simply and effectively. Remember, you don't have to face the challenges of life alone. With the right tools, you can turn any adversity into a growth opportunity. Subscribe now and take the first step towards a more serene, focused, and meaningful life. Are you ready to take control of your life? Power is in your hands.